Mathematics, the language of science. To many people, science brings to mind obscure equations written in strange, undecipherable symbols. The next time you're in the science area of your college or university, look into an advanced classroom. Chances are you'll see a confusing jumble of formulas on the blackboard. Have you ever wondered why scientists need all those complex mathematical equations? Science is supposed to help us understand the physical world around us. So why can't scientists just use plain English? Take a stroll outside and look carefully at a favorite tree. Think about how you might describe the tree in as much detail as possible so that the distant friend could envision exactly what you see and distinguish that tree from all others. A cursory description would note that rough brown bark, branching limbs, and canopy of green leaves, but that description would do little to distinguish your tree from most others. You might use adjectives such as lofty, graceful, or stately to convey an overall impression of the tree. Better yet, you could identify the exact kind of tree and specify its stage of growth. A sugar maple at the peak of autumn color, for example. But even then, your friend has relatively little to go on. Your description would be far more accurate if you gave exact dimensions of the tree, measurements expressed in units such as its height, the distance spanned by its branches, or the diameter of the trunk. You could document the shape and size of leaves, the thickness and texture of the bark, the angles and spacing of the branching limbs, and the tree's approximate age. You could approach measuring the tree from other perspectives as well by calculating the number of board feet of lumber the tree could yield, or how much life-supporting oxygen the tree produces every day. Finally, you could talk about the basic molecular process that allowed the tree to extract energy from the sunlight and carry out the other chemical tasks we associate with life. As we move through these descriptions of the tree, our language becomes more and more quantitative. In some cases, such as supplying a detailed description of the tree's shape or its chemistry, that description could become quite long and cumbersome. That's why scientists employ mathematics, which is a concise language that allows them to communicate their results in a compact form, and often, as an added benefit, allows them to make very precise predictions about expected outcomes of experiments or observations. But anything that can be said in an equation can also be said in a plain English sentence. When you encounter equations in your science courses, you should always ask, what English sentence does this equation represent? Learning to read equations will keep the mathematics from obscuring the simple ideas that lie behind most equations.